Welcome to Living Magically. I'm your host, Magical Michelle, and this is the week of March 9th. And this week we have a wonderful, wonderful expansion coming in, and we can all feel it as the energy is shifting. The good news is we have passed the major part of that eclipse portal. We have moved past and beyond the big eclipse. Now there's still a lot of energy happening this year astrologically, but one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is tomorrow. On the 10th, we will be receiving a massive shift in one of the major planets that affects us, and this is Jupiter. Jupiter, which is in Cancer, and it loves being in Cancer. It's its favorite sign to be in, and we'll have that all the way till the summer, is in Cancer. And Jupiter in Cancer, where it's exalted, brings great expansion. However, it's been retrograde for a really long time. So this entire year so far, we have been in Jupiter retrograde. This means that now, finally, we can take that sigh of relief. We can take a deep breath. And we all know that the deeper the inhale, the exhale becomes more. So sighing and letting everything go, sighing and breathing out the expansion, releasing the tension that we've been holding. It feels, to me, at least, like a lot of us have been holding our breath. And one of the things that's going to be really important now and in the coming months is to be very gentle and loving to your nervous system, to be very clear that you're taking care of yourself, because it's that whole air mask where you, in the airplane, you have to put the air mask on for you before you can help everyone else. So this time frame, to me, with all of these planets in Pisces, there's a lot of Pisces planets, and now we're starting to get Pisces Aries planets, and we're moving towards something really, really unique that's happening in April. In April, we will have 7 planets in Aries all at one time, a stellium. And that is extremely rare, and especially in Aries. So it's going to be like this massive, massive go time. Another thing that's coming, we're not there yet, but after Mercury goes direct. So tomorrow we're going to have Jupiter go direct, and that's going to be this big sigh of relief. That's going to be this like ability to expand our lungs with more air, our ability to expand into the areas we've been thinking about, dreaming about, planning in Pisces. Right now, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is a review. And so if you're finding that you're reviewing years of your life, maybe your whole life, maybe just the last year, there is definitely a review going on in this Mercury retrograde, because it's the last sign of the zodiac. It's water, so it's the emotions, what it makes you feel like. What are you feeling right now? What do you no longer identify with, and what do you no longer identify as? So as Jupiter moves direct, there's been this contraction for when Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in retrograde, it goes inward. And Cancer is also a home and an insular thing. So with this year of the snake, and the year of, and the last part of the year being, and last part of last year and the beginning of this year being in Jupiter in Cancer, there's been this inward review period. And now we're in the fire horse. Now Jupiter is coming out, and it's going to be in its exalted Cancer sign. It's going to be making its home in the world. And so instead of going inward, we're going to start moving outward. that momentum that we've been talking about for the year of the horse is starting now. And it's going to start very small. It's almost like a tiny little explosion. Maybe you feel that in your heart, or maybe you feel it in your solar plexus. Maybe you feel it in your brain, or maybe you feel it in your stomach. Wherever you feel it, it's a slow burn because it's working up to the new moon in Aries, which is still a little bit away. It's going to be on the 17th, but this is that final, it's not so much shedding, but review that's going to be happening up until the 20th of March, when we hit the equinox on the same day of Mercury going retrograde, becoming a direct sign. So as we move direct in Aries, as we move direct in all of these things, and we come into Aries season, we'll be ending this like period of watery emotion on that 20th. This is the final check-in of our emotions before it just kind of pops. When we hit that time frame of the 20th of March and no planets are in retrograde anymore, when we hit that high growth season of the sun is bigger every day. In fact, from now that we have sunsets at 7 p.m., we won't have a sunset before 7 p.m. again till November. So we have a whole season of growth, a whole season of expansion, a whole season of this momentum. So you might still this week be in the final review, but you also might be in review and planting seeds at the same time. You might still feel like you need to be inward. Both are okay. Coming back and forth between the two is probably what's going to be happening. You might need to like go inside, take a reflection, go outside, get some sun, come inward, reset yourself, go outward, see your friends and family. So a little bit of both is happening, and it is still the liminal in between. All the way until that new moon, we're still in the final bits of the eclipse portal. The hard part is over though, as far as the eclipse is concerned. But you will see a 30-day cycle from that full moon. So all the way to the full moon. And you will see another 90 days. So the eclipse will peak its momentum 90 days from that 3-3. So you'll see that in June. You'll see what was unraveled with this eclipse, starting to really see momentum in June and July. And then we'll start moving toward the next set of eclipses. So a lot is changing. There's a lot of changeover right now. And you may feel that too. You might feel like you're needing to explore. It might be that you're wanting to look at a new hobby, a new career, a new home. There's a lot of new going to be coming in. This week is more of a review. You're thinking about it rather than doing it. I do invite you to wait for any big decisions, any big commitments, signing of contracts until after the 20th. But this is that time where you can try on for size in your mind that new version of you. And maybe you're like, okay, I could do this. I didn't like that. Let's tweak it. It's kind of like drawing sketches before painting a painting, or it's kind of like going to the dressing room with like 20 outfits and trying them all on for size. It's not yet time to commit. It's more like you're dating the new version of yourself. And I love it. I'm here for it. You know me, I am the priestess of the Phoenix. I love transformation. And so I've had an upswing in client one-on-one sessions because of that. And I do have room for a couple more Design Your Destiny clients. We do have room in the Living Magical portal. And of course, we have just 2 spots left for our England trip. In fact, I think we have a call tonight for our trip to England. So if you're interested in more information and want to go with us to England this summer to be with us on the journey, the Wild Rose journey through Avalon this summer. There is 2 spaces left. There is a information call tonight, and there is going to be a recording if you are watching this a few days later. You can always reach out to me. So there's a lot going on. And I'm really excited. The other big thing that we brought to fruition this week is we are live with our annual Witchy Weekend. It's going to be the first weekend of October. So if you've been to a Witchy Weekend, you know that they often sell out. I think this one really will. It is Practical Magic 2 themed. So we have a brand new Practical Magic coming out the last weekend of September. So the first weekend of October, the deep beginning of witchy season, we're going to be hosting Witchy Weekend at our favorite bed and breakfast in New Smyrna Beach. And it is filled with midday margaritas, magical mischief, and all kinds of fun. So I have 6 rooms available for that. And actually I've already sold one. So we have 5 rooms available for that. And so there's just a lot going on, and you might feel that too. You might have to actually make sure that as you're coming out of the cave, that you are pacing yourself, taking breaks, doing self-care. If you're starting to feel excited, that's normal. If you're feeling a little disconcerting because of everything that's going on in the world, that's okay too. So whatever you're feeling, I want you to be open to what you feel. Instead of judging yourself, I'm going to invite you to lean in to whatever you feel. I'm working with a new triangle. In fact, I just had a client here, and I'm working with this triangle to get to the energy of peace or love. You must have 3 aspects in place. And the first one is to accept that which you cannot change. I call this, or it is called, the law of humility, which is you must first accept something to change it. And that's where we see the serenity prayer come into play, which is grant me the serenity to know the difference between what I can change and what I can't change. I didn't say that quite right, but that is where doing what we can to accept what is. It doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it. In fact, you can very much disagree with it. But even when you disagree with it, you must still be, this is the facts, and this is what is happening. And therefore, I must first accept it before I can change it. The wisdom part comes from knowing what your place in the world is, what that one thing that can move the needle. So if everyone has some part to play in the new world, figure out what your part is. I know my part is to share light, in the world, to share love in the world, to share inspiration in the world, to share nervous system resets and things that are going to help us all be emotionally, physically, and spiritually stronger. I know that's what I do. I know that love leader is where I fall, and I'm very clear as a spiritual activator and a love leader that right now my job is to help you be ready to change your mind, to be ready to hold a healed nervous system, be ready to heal your heart and live from a coherent place, and to live from a place of power, strength, and sovereignty. That's my place. What is your place? You don't have to fix everything. Just know what it is that you're doing that is more the exact moment in time for you. That's the wisdom part of acceptance. The second part of this triangle is forgiveness. And I'm really a big fan of the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you. And it can be said in any order. There's a whole method behind it. I also love Louise Hay's wording for I forgive you for not being who I need you to be. I love you and I set you free. and I love me even more, and I set myself free. That's a powerful tool right now. Forgiveness is a tool. It doesn't mean you're forgiving what they did. It means that you're not going to hold the poison in your body. So even the worst atrocity, the energy is not holding it for yourself anymore and setting yourself free. And with theta healing, we can also do some work with releasing shock and trauma that would allow you to do that acceptance work, that forgiveness work. And then the third part of the triangle is compassion. Compassion is, instead of being empathetic right now, let's be compassionate. Empathy says, I'm going to feel what you feel. Compassion says, I am going to hold coherent love and acceptance and forgiveness for you. And with that, you're not taking on the burden, you're at effect instead of being at cause, where you're being, that's when you become at cause, not at effect. When you're sending out coherent thought waves of compassion, of love, of light, of acceptance, of forgiveness, then you're at effect. That's when you're starting to affect the coherent field. First by getting coherent yourself, and then by sending compassion out, sending love out, sending light out. And I don't mean from a place of spiritual bypassing. I mean from a place of strength, from the point of view of I am choosing peace. I'm choosing peace in my own heart. I'm choosing love in my own heart. I'm choosing acceptance in my own heart. I'm choosing forgiveness in my own heart. And from that place, I am creating a new world order. I am creating peace in my own field. I am creating a coherent field. And from that, I am beaming my intention into the planet. I am beaming my intention into the people. I am sending unconditional love to places where there is no light. I am sending release of shock and trauma into places that are feeling and receiving horrible experiences. I am sending light into the world. I am sending hope into a dark place. So imagine sending, like the Care Bears, right? We come back to our heart very powerfully, not strong, from a place of power. We come back to our heart and we send the energy of coherence to the planet. We intend the energy of peace on this planet from a place of firmness. I command peace in my own body and I send peace into the world. I intentionally send peace into the planet. I intentionally send light into the planet. I intentionally send healing to those that are in need, to everyone that are in need. Animals, physical land, buildings, places, beings, every being that has a heartbeat, and even ones that are just an area. The intention is to send new light, to send a light, a beacon in the darkness. Hold the love, hold the line, hold the light, because often the darkness seems the darkest right before the dawn. And astrologically, I just see that it's going to be a bit of a time, especially with this major astrological conjunction called a stellium happening on the 17th of April, and the fact that we're, as a nation, as a United States nation, having our 25th birthday, and there's a very deep revolutionary astrology happening right on the 4th of July in the United States. So right now, the vision, the imagination, the heart of your heartbeat needs to be strong. It isn't going to help the world to come from a place of weakness. It is going to help the world to come from a place of deep compassion, deep intention, deep love. Love as a solid force of light. And that's where this Jupiter expanding is going to come from. We are starting that expansion as of the 10th. Right now, March 10th, we start expanding with Jupiter. We start feeling our heartbeat expand into the world, which means we can be part of the cause. When we're in fear, worry, concern, anger, then we're at effect. When we're at righteous love, not righteous rage, righteous love, strong love, powerful love, intentional love, activist love, that's where we hold our power. And that's where we, instead of shrinking, we expand with light. We are the light. We are the love. You are the light. You are love. And it starts by finding a coherent, peaceful place within yourself. So that's shadow work. And that's what this eclipse has brought to the stage, right? So intentional work with the grid lines. If that is something you want to do, we'll be doing a lot of that when we go to England. So if you don't know anything about me, when I go on these trips, and I have a trip to England planned this summer, we have 2 slots available, and I have a trip to Egypt planned next February. We put intentional energy into the grid lines. We wake up the energy of the lines. We feel the dragon lines. We connect to the land. We connect to the places, and we are the activators. We're not just the ones who are receiving the codes, because there are definitely codes when you go to sacred sites. When you are on these journeys, you are transforming. And when the energy is happening, you are upgrading. But remember, we as a collective, as a group, holding intention in these places, we are also using these sacred sites, these portal places, to help lock in the peace, the love, the new earth on this planet. We are the light. So join me every day in somehow sending love and light and coherence into our collective consciousness. Start by changing yourself. Start by finding your own peace and your own love and your own light. And from there, we can expand and we can bring this energy to the collective. And I'll be talking more about the spring equinox and the new moon next week. But I invite you to this week, finish out that life review, finish out what identity is no longer going to be coming with you, because you are more powerful than you know. The power comes from within. No one can take it away. So stop abandoning yourself. Stop playing the victim. Make an energetic choice. Because the last thing I want to say is, here at this choice point, and this choice point is about 6 more weeks. You get to decide. You get to decide who you are. You get to decide who you're being. You get to decide who you're becoming. This is where it happens. The astrology for years has pointed to this moment in time. So it's here. We're here. Now is the time. This is what we've been preparing for. So be in your own lane. Stay in your own lane. It is really important to anchor your own energy wherever you are. Think of yourself as a crystal on the grid. You are anchoring the light where you are, and you're a beacon of light wherever it is needed. You are love where you are, and you can send that love out into the world wherever it is needed. You are peace within your own heart, and that peace will prevail. And therefore, once we become a collective of consciousness, that expands into the collective. And love wins. Love will always win. Every time in history it comes around, we always win with love. And therefore, just remember, right before the darkness is over, we have that spiritual truth of trust, of faith. And that's the moment we're in right now. And we're about to expand. Take that deep breath. Take that big exhale. Take that big expansion. This is Jupiter expanding out of retrograde into Cancer. As a Cancer Jupiter, it's going to expand us and maybe even move us out of our comfort zone. And I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. And remember, I love you. You've got this. I know sometimes we feel like we don't, but just come back to your center. all of this is always going to come back to your heart. Remember, the heart is the center of your nervous system, your energy system, and it is also the center of your field, your toroidal field, your coherence. And therefore, just always come back to your breath and your heart when you feel out of alignment. And that's going to always, always work. If you can just come back to the microcosm, your breath, your heart, your love, your acceptance, your peace, your love, your forgiveness, your acceptance is going to change this world one human at a time. And that human in this moment gets to be you. I love you. Come play with me. Come on one of these wonderful retreats. Come join us at Living Magically Portal. Come join us at Soul Circle. Next week we're going to have oil temples on Monday. We'll be doing sound healing and oil temple on Monday at the Urban Ashram. There's so much going on. I'm sorry for flooding you with things we're doing, but it's just a really great time to be alive. And sometimes it feels the opposite. And I'm going to invite you to lean in to living magically. And remember, I love you.